Yes. Back it up, Lenora.
What I was saying, I mentioned
The checklist. You said
first,
the checklist has helped you like organize
yes.
your thoughts.
So
Okay.
the checklist has really helped me organize my thoughts and organize my writing. At first, it was just me throwing random stories here and there, but now what I did was I took all the stories, put them together, and I kind of know, okay, this one can go here, this can go here. And I swear to you, I would not have been able to do that if this document were not there. Because you ask a lot of questions. Who are you writing for? What do you want people? And if you've not answered those questions, then you don't even know what you're writing. You're just writing stuff. So my writing has become so like really, really much more structured with like going through this thing. And every time I feel like I don't know what to write, I go back and I read my answers to those questions. I just go back and I'm like, I remember who you're writing for, why you're even writing. It's not about you at the end of the day. Yes, you want to tell your story, but there is like, why are you telling the story? That reason right there, it keeps me grounded. It helps me be like, okay, I can go adjust this here and adjust that here. So my writing has become like, it's coming together. It's coming together.
That's exciting. That's exciting. I forgot where I was at. I was a part of a couple of mentorship groups recently, but I heard something that stood out to me, and I'm like, yes. It's like what they said was this. They said that people don't want to know, like when you're writing a book, they want to see themselves as the hero. They don't want to know, okay, I mean, if you're just writing a book and you're just trying to say, tell somebody how you overcame and become this hero, people are not really interested about that. They're really interested about how they can become that hero. They want to see themselves in your story. So a lot of times people would want to write a book and say, hey, I want to tell my story of how I overcame this. Great. But I mean, we have to think about what are they getting out of this, right? So that's good. That's good. Yeah. You're a perfect student. Like you're a perfect student. Adora's like, yeah, let me go back to square one. See, why am I doing this? Who am I doing this for? Yeah, that's amazing. That is amazing.
It really helps. And the challenge, oh my God. I have like pages of notes of like things. I was like, oh my God, moment, day 1, day 2. Every time I do not go on all the calls live, but I watch like all the recordings. I went through each and every one of them, and I kind of like picked out. There's some things that, I know because we've spoken about those things before, but there was always something new that came up. Like, for example, I had been saying to myself, I want to write, like one of the key things about my story is my childhood, like before I was even born, what I know about my birth story, more or less, with my father and everything. But I had been thinking to myself, like, why should I even write about that? But there was something that you said on day 1 that really struck me. What happened? How did you make it through? What did you learn? How do others benefit? I was like, wait, this is it. This is how you should write every single story, Len. What happened? That's the story part that you're telling, the way, like word for word, or like the key elements. How did you make it through? And that's the second part. What did you learn from it? That's the third part. And how can others benefit, which is like the lesson that you can like put out there, or kind of a reflection. And I was like, oh my God, this thing is getting clearer and clearer and clearer and clearer. And that's how I just sat down and I started writing that whole thing that same day. Another thing that you said was people don't want your book. Sell them what's in it for them. Tell them how it's going to impact them. Why should they buy? Facts tell, stories sell. No, is that what you said? Mm-hmm. Facts tell, stories sell. Yes. Mm-hmm. So it's like I've been taking notes, and all of it has been really helpful. Really helpful. Yeah.
That's amazing. And I know you weren't able to make the live, but the fact that you were committed enough to watch the recording and to glean so much from it and have these aha moments. I mean, because this was my first challenge, and there were so many people invited. There's so many people that signed up, and I know not everybody was able to make the live session, but this helped me to know that people are still watching it. people are still,
Yeah.
because you're in a different time zone, completely different
Exactly.
time zone. So that, you know, that is encouraging. And it was a great experience for me too. So that's, you know.
Oh, you did amazing leading it. I saw like the way you answered people's questions. I was like, girl, like from a BBM business, I was like, go Rosie. And then from a student perspective, I was like, damn, she's spitting facts.
Oh my God, that's so funny because it's like both of us, you're my coach, I'm your coach. It's like from different angles, right? You're like celebrating me, like that's my girl. And
exactly, like go. At the same time, like, oh, Lenora, you need to be writing. You need to get
but you
together.
See, it's crazy because I've been with you guys for almost 2 years now, and I've been doing, like, right before I retired the military, I started coaching, and there were times when I feel so discouraged because I'm like, well, I'm spending this money and I'm not seeing the fruit of my labor. And I'm glad I didn't give up because it takes time to grow. It takes time to grow and get out of my shell. Of course, one of my biggest thing was overcoming this imposter syndrome. Like, I know, like, I've done this thing. Why Rosie thinking she can't teach it, or like people not gonna believe in her, right? And so right now I'm seeing all the things that you guys poured into me really coming out. Like sometimes I'm like, man, that's a Marge thing, that's a Lenora thing, that's a that's like little bits and pieces of y'all like coming after me. And I'm like,
like coming together. I love
they'll
it.
Be proud of me today. They'll be proud of me today.
Oh, we proud. We talk about you all. We're like, guys, can you see what like Marge is like? And you know what's funny? We always say that